Namaskar my friends, and today I'm back here with the continuation of our previous video, and we were reviewing the Baiwei TW-1103 Explorer Elder, better known as Jetfire from Revenge of the Fallen. And as I told you, I did not have Star Leader with me, that is Optimus Prime, Baiwei's version of Studio Series 35 Optimus Prime, and I finally have him here on screen, as you can see, and he is in instruct mode. So we're going to continue the review. This is part 2 of the Explorer Elder review, so let us start. But before we start, let me just tell you, there's a fan running in the background and I'm not going to switch it off, and I'm very sorry because it's very hot. Alright, well, this is what Optimus Prime looks in his truck mode. The transformation is the same as Studio Series 35, and if you would like to see a review of this guy separately, do let me know in the comments and I will certainly review him for you guys. But the reason he's in his truck mode, because I need to show you that you can store certain weapons on him, so hence I decided to start this review in his truck mode. By the way, the truck mode is pretty cool. It does roll pretty well, no problem, and he does have a little weight to him because of the die-cast parts. Yes, the feet are die-cast, and I think a part of the torso is probably die-cast. I'm not sure, but I definitely know that the feet are die-cast, and yeah, he transforms really well. He looks very, very good. But then, like I said, if you want me to review him separately, I would love to do so. So let us get started on storing some of the weapons. So Jetfire does come with his upgrade kit. Yes, the weapons, the BFG, and certain parts that we use with Optimus Prime to give him his Jetfire jet mode like in the movies. So we first have this piece right here. So this is basically an arm cannon, right? So this will actually, there's a peg right there, and there's a peg hole right here. So all you're going to do is just port that in, peg that in, and we actually have the blaster, a part of the truck right now stored on the truck. So let us start adding all the parts that we can store on him. So these are all parts of the Optimus Jetfire or the Jet Prime mode. So yeah, we're going to use this and we're going to port it here. There's a port here, there's another slot here. We're going to port that in, match up the pegs with the ports, and let's slot that in, I suppose. Yeah, there we go. And then we have the other one as well. These wings, basically these silvery wings, have to be on the side, so it's easy for you to port that in. So there we go. So that's done and dusted, looks pretty good. Next we're going to port these in as well. So alright, I'll start with this one. So as you can see, that there is a slot right here, right in the middle. There's a port right there. Oh, I think this is for the left side. Sorry about that. Again, there's a lot of traffic today as well. It's crazy, man. It's just crazy outside. So there's a port here. Crazy, absolutely crazy. A lot of traffic outside. People are honking away to glory. Alright, here we go. So yeah, that's pretty cool. We also get these parts as well. These are all a part of Optimus's jet mode. So there's a slot right here, as you can see. So there's a slot right here. So we'll just quickly just go ahead and put that in right there, and then you can do the same here as well. I'll just show you. There's a slot right here. Oops. Oh man. Oh, come on. Yeah, there we go. Just slot that in. Alright, looks pretty good. Okay. Now this is an interesting thing. These are basically, I think these are feet. Oh, this one came out. Yeah, these are kind of loose. They have this bad habit of falling every now and then. You got to peg them in securely. Yeah, there we go. So we basically get these. I think these are a part of his feet. I'm not sure, but yeah, these basically store on him as well. Now the problem is this. There's a slot right here. There's a peg right here. Let's peg that in. Now the thing is that these don't exactly sit or sort of plug into anything. They just sit there, You know, they just sit there. You really can't do much. So yeah, you got to probably angle them in, and they just sit there. They don't. If you move it too much, obviously they're going to fall off because they're not plugged in. But they just sit there. That's the best that I could do. I couldn't find any slot or peg or anything that's going to peg, sort of hold these together. But I mean, on the vehicle, they are being held together with this peg and the port here. But on the vehicle, there's no such slot. Maybe I'm missing out on some detail, but I looked for it. I couldn't get it. So yeah, they just sit there. And of course, you have the big old BFG, and there's a slot here on the roof of the truck, and what you're going to do is slot that in, and go in. There you go. And you basically take this belt right here. There's no place to port that in either, so you can just get this under here, and there you go. Storage, yay! Storage right here. So yeah, the storage right there. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty cool. I mean, yeah, it looks fine. It's all right. So now let us transform him from his truck mode to his robot mode and have a look at Star Leader or Optimus Prime from Revenge of the Fallen. Let's do it. And here we have Optimus Prime in his robot mode standing next to the Explorer Elder. We have Jetfire right here in the scene. And now it is time for the main event. So without further ado, let's get ready to combine Jetfire and Optimus Prime to give us the ultimate Jet Wing Optimus Prime from Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. So let's go ahead. is finally in all his glory. Jet-powered Optimus Prime from Revenge of the Fallen. This is his combination with Jetfire, Baiwei Star Leader in combination with Baiwei Explorer Elder. Call him what you may, but this is what he looks like, and he looks amazing. This is the first time I've actually had this mold in my hand, and he looks amazing. He looks just simply amazing. Now this guy, although he has some very basic articulation, because you really can't move around much because parts will fall off, right? It's not the most sturdiest piece. I mean, although he's standing now, but unless and until you fiddle around with him, you play around with him, I don't think anything is going to fall off. I mean, if you try to move the BFG gun with his arm, this ammo belt thing kind of pops off from the back. As it is, there's no place for it to plug in. But this piece mainly was created by Hasbro and now Baiwei as a display piece, and as a display piece this looks fantastic. You could maybe get him into a few poses. I mean, his basic articulation still remains, although some of the articulation will be hindered by all these Jetfire parts. But all in all, I think this piece is a fantastic display piece, and those of you who have the original Jetfire and the original Studio Series Prime with the upgrade kit, the DNA upgrade kit, I don't think you play around with him now, do you? But this looks fantastic. And I've also given him his Energon sword, because that's what he was fighting with in the final scene when he was taking care of business and bringing the Fallen down to his knees, and he finally took his face. Give me your face. That was Optimus's last line. The second last line. Last line was I rise, you fall. Well, that's my Optimus Prime impression. But overall, very nice piece. I really like the way this looks, and I'm very happy to finally have this in my collection. Thank you so much, Baiwei, for getting this one to us. Although Jetfire has his share of problems, but Star Leader, again, if you want to see a review of him, do let me know. Star Leader is fantastic. It's a great piece to have in the collection. And finally, Jet-powered Optimus Prime. I kept calling him Jetwing Prime all this while. Jetwing Prime is in Dark of the Moon. This is Jet-powered Optimus Prime. Oh well, whatever. So now let's quickly have a look at a couple of comparisons, and we'll finally move over to my final thoughts. Here is a Jet-powered Optimus Prime alongside Revenge of the Fallen Megatron. And here he is alongside Shockwave from Dark of the Moon. And so there you go. Baiwei has produced some really good stuff over the last year or a couple of years. And here he is with the Rise of the Beast Studio 100, Bumblebee, the Dark of the Moon, Ratchet, and Ironhide from all the 3 movies right here. And that's how he scales with his comrades, with his friends, with his brothers in arms. So there you go. So my final thoughts, well, they're pretty simple. I had mixed feelings, I still do, mixed feelings about Jetfire, because the copy which I received had its share of problems, right? You all saw that in the last review. I mean, in part 1 of this review. But part 2 is pretty much, they have knocked it out of the park. Baiwei have created this KO of the original Studio Series Prime and have just made it better by leaps and bounds. I really like the way this looks, and in my collection, at least in my display, this is how it's going to remain. This is how Prime will continue to stand in the display. That's just how it is. I don't think I need to add any more words to what I have to say. With that being said, this concludes our review. If you've liked this review, then do give us a like, comment, share, and subscribe. And of course, we'll have more reviews coming for you very soon. There is a very special figure arriving to our studio, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, please take very good care of yourselves. Enjoy your collections, and always remember, till all are one. Thank you so much for joining us today. roll out.